Hello, this is PFC Biggs, Anvil 2 Delta Team Lead, 2nd Platoon A Company of the 506th Infantry Regiment. This exercise has been deployed for examination. I'll be firing the FGM-148 Javelin at 3 or 4 armoured targets. Basically anything from a UTV and LEVs to light and heavy armour. The exercise is intended to educate MAS qualified 11 Bravos as to the application and deployment of the Javelin weapon system. It's also going to demonstrate the effectiveness of this system against ground vehicles. The Javelin is capable of engaging air, but this won't be demonstrated in this video. As a secondary aim, I'm going to show the difficulties we're currently finding in weapons squad, particularly with the anti-tank specialists. With the Javelin. So out there we've got 4 armoured targets. First one up. Well, it's not really an armoured target, but let me just first show how we use this. So basically, I'm in third person right now. As we're aiming this, we can aim the front aperture towards a target, and that's where our guy is currently looking. But if we aim down sights, he goes down towards the computer. Now the computer is obviously facing down, so what we have to do is we aim up about 30 degrees so that the computer is then facing the target that we want to aim at. Go into the computer, acquire our target. So over there we've got a UAS 469er. It's about 2 clicks out from this position. It's just about, well, actually it's about 1500 meters out from this position, just sort of reaching the faded area of my viewpoint here, which is 2,000 meters. So already we're running into a kind of difficulty where we see an armoured target, and already we're kind of having to sort of do a bit of guesswork, make sure it's aligned. Of course, what we can do is we can just sort of, okay, there's a target over there, use the computer. But I mean, with a mouse or even whatever, it does take a little while to actually move up, and once you've moved up, you still then need to acquire the target. So it is easier just for us to sort of aim up, so at least we've got the computer sort of halfway up and then acquire the target. It does have a zoom function, so obviously now it's zoomed out, and once we've acquired the target we zoom in. Now to lock on, you can lock on just by aiming at it like this and pressing T for the default controls, although if you're using Armour 2 controls I believe it is a right click. But if you're aiming at it like how I'm doing right now without using the computer and just having the front of the rocket pointing at it, the problem you'll have is as you come out, as the rocket comes out of the tube, what it does is it drops and then fires the primary rocket. So unless you're firing it off like a cliff or a rock formation like that over there, for example, it will basically drop to the ground and explode, which obviously can kill anyone in front of me or even myself actually. So when you're acquiring a target, always use the computer. Don't just sort of aim and click. So you aim up, acquire, use the computer, right click. You'll make that beeping sound, and then it'll make this sound, and that indicates to me, that rhythm indicates to me that I've locked on. Now once I've locked on, if I am, usually team leaders technically are supposed to be carrying this, but this can be delegated to the assistant anti-armor specialist. So what I would do is I'd acquire the target, when I'd say, you know, say if I've acquired the target, I'll be like, okay, locking on. And then once I hear that rhythm, I'll be locked. I'd check my back blast. And then I'd pull the trigger. If I was the assistant, I'd do exactly the same thing. If I haven't been cleared to fire, essentially what I'd do is I would hold at this point here. Now, if you're the assistant and you're waiting for the go, I don't know about you, but that's kind of annoying, having to hear that beat. So what you do is you just come off, and then of course the team leader may go, okay, fire now, and I'm like, oh crap, gotta lock on, and then fire, and boom, you know, at that point, you know, friendlies could have already been engaged, that T100 or whatever that's engaging us could have already taken out our guys. So, you know, that's another thing that's kind of bugging me with this weapon system, is just how annoying it can be. Oh, and also, you may be wondering why I'm wearing, I've just noticed I'm wearing NVGs. One problem we are having is, look at my loadout right here. So, I have one Javelin in the tube, I've got one in my backpack, and then that is pretty much means that I have to reduce everything else. You know, I've got 6 magazines, one in the weapon. 7, one in the weapon. I think I've got 14 bandages. You know, just some other stuff as well. So obviously my loadout has had to be reduced, but biggest thing is this Javelin. If I take it out, you can see how much it reduces, how much it takes up in my backpack here. These Eagle A3s, they don't carry as much as the standard kit bag that we used to use in the 15th Mu, but we work with it. So, while I'm just on a sidetrack here, actually, I just want to mention, just for the benefit of other anti-armor specialists, when you're saving your loadout with the arsenal, you can basically save with 1 rocket in the tube, 1 rocket in your backpack, and then when you load you'll have 2 rockets. For your assistant, what he'll have to do is, I don't know if you noticed, but when you go into the arsenal, if you don't have the Javelin on, you can't pick up a rocket. So what you can do is simply just drop the rocket, give it to the assistant, pick up another one, and if you both save your arsenals with you having 2 rockets and your assistant having 1, that means your team can have 3 rockets. Now unfortunately, what this means is we're very heavy, and in the last test that we did Sunday, the last date of November, we basically were running out of breath and we were just getting slowed down and trying to keep up with the infantry. Okay. Sorry, I just had to go AFK from... Well, I just had to speak to someone for a moment there. Alright. So, as I was saying, yeah, that's the biggest problem we're facing is the weight. You know, we're trying to keep up with the infantry, and we're having to carry basically a huge loadout. These javelins, they're very heavy. So, I was speaking to... we informed Captain Hayes in the debrief, and he mentioned something about upping the stamina for the anti-armor specialists, which would be nice. No, it definitely helps out. But yeah, in terms of like having stuff in our stuff, we're just completely full. So the reason why I'm wearing NVGs is because obviously, usually you're supposed to have them on you, like you know, especially if the operation or whatever goes to night. But of course, because of the time of day, I could have left them back at base, which is what I probably should have done. So what I'll do is I'll just fucking actually get around and here we go. I'll just load them in the Vic and keep them there. There we go. All right. So yeah. Next, I'm going to demonstrate the firepower of the Javelin. This is going to be the bulk of the test because I want to demonstrate how, you know, this thing is not as strong as we had originally anticipated, but it does have its advantages. For example, like we said over there, that contact, that target over there is 1,500 meters away, thereabouts, 1,600, give or take. So we have a target that is much further away, like it's 3 times the effective range of a SMAW, which is what the Marines use. And as for a MAWS, I'm pretty sure it's about 600 meters effective range, maybe to 800. So in terms of the effective range, this is great. You know, this weapon system definitely serves our purposes at range, and if it's a target like this, it's no problem at all. There we go. And obviously I did make one mistake there, I didn't check my backblast, but obviously I know it's just me here. So yeah, normally you check your backblast, and then you denounce and rocket when you fire. Or at least that's what we did back in the 15th year. Okay, so the next target I put down, if I can find it, was a BTR. Somewhere over here. Ah, well that is a T-80, we'll get onto that later. One target I do know and remember where I put down was a BMP-2, which is over here, by the solar panels. There it is. So, this is a BMP-2, facing sideways, so we're going to hit this side on, and up slightly, as the rocket fires. I have reloaded, so I've got my last rocket in the tube. Bearing in mind that obviously, you know, if this was an operation, we'd already be nearing yellow on ammo, because this is 2 rockets left for a team. For the whole squad, it will be 6 per squad. So, you know, in a normal squad, we've got 2 teams of anti-armor specialists. Where did it go? There it is. Right, okay, so let's see what happens. Unlocked. Clear and backblast. Clear. Rocket. You observe the rocket to make sure it hits. And it hit. Now you can see why that disappoints me and disappoints us. You know, if that was a SMAW hitting that side on, we'd definitely see some tread damage. We'd definitely possibly even see it destroyed, especially if it was a side on hit like that. So we're going to see how long it takes to destroy this. I've loaded up some rockets in this Humvee. There we are. I'm gonna see how many rockets it takes to blow this thing up. And obviously, remember, this is kind of like medium armor. We would take this out no problem. If we were at this range, what we'd do is we'd be able to move in and engage. And I'm talking about, you know, if we were 0351 assaultman, we'd move in, sometimes that wouldn't be an option for us, of course, and this is why this weapon system does have its advantage of the range, because this is 800 meters we're firing at, 800 to 900 meters. So the range is definitely a massive improvement. We've definitely got much more capabilities as far as that goes, and that's why sometimes, that's why us moving isn't necessarily an issue. But if we wanted to keep up with the infantry, which is what we usually do in the infantry squads, because we're attached to them directly now, then that's going to be a problem, and it was a problem yesterday. Especially if, this is a nice open field. This is a field that we used for training back in the 15th MEU, and basically, it doesn't always come about like this, especially in maps like Chinaris, what we were playing yesterday. We had some hills and stuff, but it was difficult. Anyway, so we're going to see what happens. As I was saying, usually we would move up and engage, and that thing would be toast. But we're just going to sit here and fire at this until it cooks off. Alright, I'm locked. Going back blast. Rocket. Reload. I should put my earplugs in. There we go. Flare back blast. Rocket. Obviously you can go into third person, or even first person, I guess, to observe it. But you've got this front aperture in your face in first person view. Once you've locked on, it's not a problem. That sounded like... Nope. I thought it sounded like it blew up, but still, I'm going to have to keep firing. Now, you can already imagine, we're in an FTX, an operation, and, we've fired 3 rockets at a BMP. Yeah, and, I don't want to disappoint our infantry squads, same platoon, and we want to make sure that we're, doing our job properly, and we just can't seem to do our job with this firepower. So we're going to have to ask for some kind of uppage of the firepower, especially if we're going to be using javelins. But personally, I would like to request that we have the Morse weapon system as well. I know the army uses this, and if we had that, maybe if we had one team using the Javelin and one team using the Morse system, if the Javelin was edited or modified to be able to take out these kinds of targets, because in real life this thing should be toast by now, then that would be would be so efficient and effective, especially since the infantry teams now have to rely on us a lot more, because their loadouts, they're pretty much designed or trained to take out infantry contacts. And the reason why we're attached to them as a squad now, with the same platoon, is because we're the ones that are going to be dealing with nearly all of the armoured contacts that we come across. If, say for example, the A10 that would usually be with us is unable to give us assistance, or the Bradley is unable to take out a certain contact, or whatever, the situation depends. So, we're relied on, and I don't like that we can't, effectively destroy targets like this. This is not acceptable. So, we're going to keep firing at it at the moment. I'll let off 2 more rockets, and, I've kind of proven my point. We'll get on then to the, hopefully I can find that BTR 80 I'll put down. I'll use MCC to locate it in a moment. I do like this M4, by the way. I think our weapons that we use now are excellent. Okay. Another problem we are having, of course, is, like I mentioned earlier, if we're aiming up like this and then using the computer, we're always having to, then guesswork it. Okay, 20 to 30 degrees, yeah, give or take. And then we're you can imagine, okay, so I've spotted a BMP over there. I'm trying to lift up the computer where, like I'm looking for it. Obviously, it's quite easy for us to just reference this because of the solar plants, that's why I put it over there. But, you know, that's another difficulty. So perhaps if we could have it so that our guy is looking towards this, but then again, that would create a problem because this is blocking our view. So it's a bit of a difficulty, you know, having to deal with this. Or maybe if one thing that we could do, I guess, I mean, I'm not sure how these modding with weapons works, but maybe if we've seen a target, you know, okay, we see that over there, go into this. Maybe if we could have this snap up straight away. You know how actually, I'm not sure if it does do that with the M4, but if the M4 has a grenade launcher, I'm pretty sure when you increase the range, it snaps up. So your guy is actually looking up like that with the M4. I know that's how it used to work with our old weapons with Massey's M4s, but I'm not sure if it still works with the M4s that we're using now. I haven't tried it out. But if we could have that where we you know, we aimed, every time we aimed it snapped perfectly as to like where we were aiming, that would be a big help to us, definitely, especially when we're using the Javelin. You can even come out of it. I don't think you can lock on when you're aiming up like this in third person. I just tapped out. My bad. That was weird. Yeah, so you can lock on or start the lock on process and then either go into third or third person and then you can see the rocket fire. Observe it. So there you have it. 5 rockets. So we'd be red on ammo right now. We'd have 1 rocket left. And what we've destroyed using 6 rockets is an enemy fast moving vehicle and an enemy BMP-2. Let me just see if I can find that BTR real quick. Ah, there it is. So it is at 140. Okay. The BTR is roughly 600 meters out. So again, like I said, even this would be a stretch for a small. So I guess that's 1 plus. You know, 1 plus could be, say if we did have a BMP out on the field, like over there. If we had 2 of our teams, say if we had the other Javelin team up there, firing at that thing may have been disabled on the 3rd or 4th shot. That may have been a disabling hit, and they could have dismounted. That's something that we do find, is that on the 2nd or 3rd shot of a contact like that, yes, it is disabled. And obviously, still that's still kind of weak for what a Javelin is supposed to be. You know, Javelin is supposed to be 1 shot. You know, pull the trigger. You know, pull the trigger. Forget about it. But I guess if we had the 2 small teams, or sorry, the Javelin teams, firing on that thing, then yeah, okay, we can take out 1 or 2 contacts, armored contacts, and we could do it from a safe distance. That's one advantage of it right now. But ideally, we want to be able to take out 6 contacts, and I mean contacts like the contact over there, the armored contacts, the T80. Where is it? There it is. We want to be able to take out 6 of them, or at the very least 3. At the very least, I guess. That'd be ideal. Okay. So we're now going to test this against the BTR-80. Just make sure I'm not... Even bushes and stuff can sometimes push you back less. Let's try this. I haven't actually tried this. Ah, yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So you can actually aim it about a bit, and it still locks on. Oh, actually, one thing I've just seen is it's taken out his tyres, so that would have been a disabling shot. So that's yeah, okay, so that's 1 up, I guess. But again, still, I still feel like, yeah, okay, fine. They may have dismounted at this point, but still, this thing should already be dead. We've got our dismounts coming out, and they're already engaging our allies, so we're thinking, shit, it's still up. Fire again. Will it cook? No. So yeah, as you can see, this thing is very weak against even medium armor. Oh, that was a bit of an accident. So while I've only got a few rockets left, let's go ahead and try this out on that tank over there. Again, there we go. This is another problem we were having. Well, actually, it just locked on them, but sometimes it won't lock on for us. We were having this problem the other day, and I think it may even be things like this deflate in front of us here. Maybe there's a bit of a hitbox issue there, but I mean, you know, we'll work with it. We'll get to know it. I'm not complaining. Well, I am, but whatever. I should really be looking at it. But yeah, I'm getting into the habit of basically going back and looking at it through first person, or third person. So, just the best thing to do is observe it with the computer, so at least you can see it's hit. So yeah, we are shooting at this on a frontal armor. So you know, I kind of expected this. Yeah, this is the worst case scenario. We've got a tank over there, 800 meters out. Engaging us. This, you know, it can engage us from that distance easily. Put us down. We're hitting at it from its frontal armor. You know, it's not stupid. It knows where its strongest piece of armor is, so it aims at us, and we just can't destroy it. And then we've got to rely on the A-10. Not that I have any, you know, not that I'm saying anything against our aviation element, because I'm glad that they're here. I'm glad we still have some support here in the 506th. But yeah, it would be nice if we could, if our guys in 2-1 to 2-3 and 1-3 to 1-1 can rely on us to take out these targets. And as of right now, it doesn't seem they can, unfortunately. There we go. So yeah, this team would already be out of rockets. So we're red, tank's still engaging us. Maybe we got a disabling shot in. Fire again. There you go. So yeah. Well, that was the test. I'm hoping that I have demonstrated what the flaws is of the Javelin. I really hope we are authorised or get a mod in to use the Moors, whatever that may be. Having said that, I am perfectly happy to work with the Javelin system if we can get something, if we can get like a power increase. If we can get a power increase for this, that'd be great. I understand the need to make sure that we don't have, or we're not adding more mods than necessary. But I really think the Moors could be a great help. That's just my opinion, though. Like I said, I am happy to work with this as long as we can get that increase. So yeah, back to base. Thanks for watching, and I hope this makes a difference. It's PFC Biggs, Anvil 24 Delta.